Okay. Good morning, students. Good morning. Okay, next we will start with the next session, continuing with those questions here. Question number 9 here. Okay, question number 9. Here, if you read the question, it is possible to transmit data without the internet to many devices using long range wide area network technology. Okay, using long range wide area network technology. Do you agree? They are asking, do you agree for this particular sentence here? And justify your answers with its features. If it is yes, means you should justify by explaining the features of this long range wide area network here. The question is what here? It is possible to transmit the data without the internet to many devices. Without the internet connection here, we can transmit the data from one device to other in this particular long range wireless area network technology here. If this is the that is, do you agree for this? If yes, that is answer, justify your answer with the explaining its features here. Okay, now see here. Yes, it is possible to transmit the data without the internet to many devices. It is possible to transmit the data using the without the internet here, many devices using the technology LoRa WAN, that is the long range wide area network technology. That is, this long range wide area network technology is equal, mainly its main features are what? It is a low power, because the power consumption is very low in this technology, and also the long range, low power and the long range wireless communication protocol, mainly designed for the IoT applications here. Mainly it is designed for the IoT applications. Here are the, now we will discuss some of the features here. Okay, first one, we will see this diagram afterwards. First here, what is this? Actually, LoRWAN, long range wide area network. What is that? Actually, long range wide area network, that is nothing but it is on protocol here. What do you mean by the protocols? Protocols are nothing but those are the set of rules here. Protocols are nothing but a set of rules. LoRWAN, that is a long range wide area network. It is a protocol actually, which will operate on LoRa. What is the LoRa? LoRa is nothing but it is the radio signal here, or the frequencies. LoRa is the set of radio frequencies here. Those are used to transmit the data. Correct? Those are used to transmit the data. That is, LoRa is the radio signal that carries the data. Actually, which is carrying the data here? LoRa. But LoRWAN, it is the protocol there. And the LoRWAN is the communication protocol that controls and defines how the data should be transmitted, in which format the data should be there, what are the transmission rules there, what are the encryption methods, security purpose, securities are there. All those are decided by this LoRWAN. Understood the difference here? What is LoRa and what is the LoRWAN? LoRa is what? It is actually, it is the frequency which is carrying the data. ಯಾವ್ದು ಡಾಟಾ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಡಾಟಾ? LoRa ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ದಟ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಡಾಟಾ, ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಾಟಾ ಬಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಸಮ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್. Correct? You need some rules. Those set of rules are called as what here? Protocols. And that protocol is LoRWAN protocol. Okay, now that is the here. Now we will see one by one the features here. That is long range communication here. The first feature is what here? The range is very long. Therefore, the name long range communication. LoRWAN can achieve communication distances of up to 15 kilometer in rural areas and up to 5 kilometer in urban areas. Correct? In the urban areas means what? The number of subscribers will be more, access point will be more, therefore the distance will reduce there. But in the rural area, number of access point will be less there. Users will be less, therefore the distance will be more there. Okay. Here it is the up to 5 kilometer in urban areas, and this makes it ideal for the applications that require communication over long distance. Long distance ke ನಾವು ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we can go for this technology here. Second is the low power consumption. One of the very important feature is power consumption is very low. For the remotely applications, we need these features. It is the very essential feature. Because yellow remote place of ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ sensors ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಂದ್ರೆ day to day we cannot replace the batteries or charge the batteries here. They should run for the years together. Correct? Therefore, it is the low power consumption. LORA van is the designed for the low power consumption, enabling devices to operate for years on a single battery. ಒಂದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಹಾಕಿದಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಮಟ್ಟ ರನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಲೋ ಪವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Okay, up to the year here. This makes it suitable for remote and distributed sensor networks where frequent battery replacement is impractical. Frequent ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋದು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಲೋ ಆಯ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ it is not possible. Therefore, we have to go for the technology which is having the low power consumption here. Next is it is adopting the star topology. Okay, star topology means here, if you consider here, these are the end devices, correct? Those using the star topology, end devices are connected to the gateways. Using the star topology, end devices are connected to the gateways here, and these gateways are in turn connected to the network servers here. These gateways are in turn connected to the network servers, and some of those are also connected to the application server depending on the applications here. Okay, application server. Now here, this one particular, here the LORA WAN employs a star network topology where end devices communicate with the gateway. End devices communicate with the gateway directly. These gateways then relays the data to central network server without the internet by using those radio frequency like the walkie-talkie type. In that format, without the internet, they are transmitting the data here. First, end devices are connected to the gateways. Those will transmit data to the gateways there, and gateways will in turn relay those informations or transmit those information to the network servers there. They are transmitting the information to the network servers which can operate independently of the internet. Without the internet, they can operate there. Now, this topology simplifies the network management and enhances the scalability. Therefore, using this topology, the management is very easy because it is the star topology. All are connected to the gateway here. Now, gateway is taking care of all the data should be transmitted to the network server here. Next one is it is the license-free spectrum here. Means there is no need of purchasing the license to use that particular frequency band. It is the license-free frequency band spectrum here. Okay. Therefore, due to this license-free, this allows the easy to deployment. Means installation is very easy. Okay, and also cost-effective operation because there is no need to pay for the license. License and purchase ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ no need to pay. Now ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ purchase ಮಾಡೋ need ಇಲ್ಲ. It is free here. License free. Therefore, it is the cost-effective operation without the need for licensing fee here. This is also one of the advantage here. This particular spectrum. Next is the adaptive data rate. It is having the adaptive data rate means what? Data rate is not fixed. That is, this is the data rate. It is not fixed. According to the conditions, the data rate can be changed here. It will adopt for the different data rates also. ಈಗ ಒಂದೊಂದು ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಹೋಗೋ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಏನಿರ್ತೈತಿ ದ ಡಾಟಾ ರೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಒಂದು ಡಾಟಾ ಬಿಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದ್ರೂ it will not allows. Correct? Therefore, the data rate will be fixed frames there. But here it is the adaptive data rate here. Next one is the robust and secure communication here. Means it will be sustaining itself in the good condition in any type of the circumstances here. Okay. Therefore, and also secure because it is using the encryption methods for the data security. That is the advanced encryption system, AES. Advanced encryption system 128. What is that? In the yesterday's class we have discussed it. In this, it is using 128 key bits. It is using 128 key bits in the data stream such that the data is encrypted, and if any unauthorized device or the persons they will receive also, they cannot make out what is the information. Therefore the security is at a high level here. It is using the advanced encryption system 128 method here. Next one is the Bidirectional communication. This is allowing the bidirectional communication means what? From those end devices to the network server, again from there to here. Means due to this bidirectional, one of the advantages is whenever the sender will send the data to the receiver, after receiving the data, they can send the acknowledgement. Okay, I have received the data correctly. Then they will be like knowing that okay, whatever the data is sent, that is reached correctly to the destination. If that acknowledgement process that in that direction data is not allowed, then we cannot send those acknowledgements and all, and also some control signals also. For example, if any device wants any information, means if it has to send the request, send this data, means if in that direction if it is not allowed, means they cannot ask for the data also. Therefore, due to this bidirectional capacity, at both the end the data can be transmitted from here A to B and B to A. Therefore, whenever the data is transmitting, we can have that acknowledgement method also, and also control signals also can be transmitted here. Next one is the scalability. That is the scalability means what? Here it will support the number of devices here. It will support the number of devices. Therefore, due to all these features, we can come to the conclusion that yes, it can be operated without internet, and also it is the more like we can use for that particular application, remotely placed applications here. That is one example of an application where LoRa WAN can be used to transmit data without the internet is in remote monitoring system. Suppose we want to monitor the weather conditions in the mountainary areas. Correct? There, what is the wind speed and the humidity? Correct? All those, if you want pressure, all those if you want to monitor, means we can place the sensor here. Therefore, for the remotely monitoring, for example, sensors could be installed in the remote locations to monitor the environmental conditions. To monitor the environmental conditions such as the temperature, humidity, and the quality here. These are the sensors could be transmit data to central station using the LoRa WAN, allowing the data to be monitored and analyzed in the real time. Correct? In the real time also we can monitor those data here. Just clear this one? Okay, now read the second question here. That is, they are giving the sentence. This protocol was not initially created for IoT applications. That protocol, when that is designed, it is not meant for the IoT. Okay, this protocol initially not designed for the IoT applications except for banking environments. For the banking initially design madiddu. Okay, now in this protocol delivery is guaranteed as well as acknowledgement. Means whatever the data it is sending, the correctly surely it will reach the destination. Delivery is guaranteed, and also it is having the acknowledgement theme there. Means it will receive the acknowledgement also. The data is delivered correctly. Okay, acknowledgement guaranteed. Now explain the features of this. Means they are talking about this AMQP. Okay, what is the AMQP here? Advanced Message Queuing Protocol. Advanced Message Queuing Protocol here. Means actually this AMQP, it is not designed for IoT. Now they are using there also. It is basically it is designed for the banking purpose here. Now what are the main advantages or the features of that AMQP? First one is it is the data delivery is assured here, guaranteed, and second is the acknowledgement method is there. Okay, that is the main features. Now we have to explain what is that AMQP. Correct? Now we have to explain that what is that, how it works here. Okay, now see here. If you observe the AMQP, the architecture wise here, again here we are having three sections here. Correct? First section is the publisher, also called as the producers. The names, it is the publisher or the producers, same here. Means they are producing the data. Correct? They are producing the data. Therefore, we can call them as the publisher or the producers here. And second part is the broker. Again, second part is what here? Broker. And third is the consumers here. Those who are receiving the data. Correct? Third part is the consumers, those who are receiving the data here. Again, if you observe here, the particular AMQP broker, again it is having the separate parts here. Okay? Again it is having the separate part. First one is the here exchange queue. That wait, I will show. See here in the broker again three parts here. One is the exchanges, queues and the bindings. Exchanges, queues and the bindings here. Three parts here. Okay, now see here. Here it is the first section is the producers or the publishers, broker. In the broker again three parts, exchanges, queues and the bindings. Okay. Next is the consumers here. Next is the consumers. Now how the data flow will occur here? If you observe here, the publishers or the producers, they will generate the data and they will send the data to the broker. In that broker, which part they are sending? To the exchange. Means the producers are connected to the exchange directly. Now the exchange will receive the data. Okay, exchange will receive the data. After receiving the data here, now it has to transmit here. Here number of queues are there. Number of queues are there. Here to transmit that particular data. Which queue it should follow. For that, they are having some rules here and those rules are called as the bindings. Understood? I said three parts are there. One is the exchange. You can see the exchange there. Another is the queue. Then what is the binding here? Bindings are nothing but these are the rules which tells the data to which queue it should follow. ಯಾವ queue ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು depending on the calculations, because for which consumer that particular data is needed. ಯಾವ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಯಾರು ರಿಸೀವರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗಷ್ಟೇ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕದು. ಹೌದಾ? ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೈತಿ, ಯಾವ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯೂ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಐತಿ, ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಾತ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸಿಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಬೈಂಡಿಂಗ್. It will analyze this and it will tell okay, send that particular data to this particular queue. That is decided by the binding. Then how it will decide? Using those rules, and also when the data is transmitted by the publisher or the producer here, that data packet, it is not only having the data here, also it is having some headers. Along with the data, some additional information is also present. That additional information, it is having the who is the sender, who is the receiver, correct? How much, which is the encryption, like it, all those informations are there. Those are called as the control informations. Source address, destination address, that all those, that is called as the header part. And our actual data, full that combined is the one our frame data frame here. Getting this one? That is also having the path here where to transmit, and using that header and this binding rules, it is decided where to send the particular data here. Now once the data is transmitted to that particular queue here, now queue will buffers that data or holds that data. ಅದು ಏನೇನ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕ್ಯೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತದ. It will holds the data, and whenever that particular consumer is connected or it is free, it will transmit that data to that consumer here. It will transmit that data to consumer here. Now after receiving the data, consumer, what it will do? It will send the acknowledgement saying that I have received the data correctly. I have received the data correctly. For example, that data is not reached correctly to the consumer. If the data is not reached correctly to the consumer, then what will happen? Consumer will wait for the particular time slot. If that data is not reached, it instead of sending the acknowledgement, it will send the negative acknowledgement. What the negative acknowledgement means here? It says that data is not reached correctly or the data is lost. Again, it will send the queue will send the data once again. If the negative acknowledgement is arriving, means it indicates that whatever that sent data, it has not reached the destination correctly. Therefore, it has to resend. It has to do one more try. Again, it will send the data, and if this time the data reached correctly, then this consumer will send the acknowledgement back. Okay. Now the queue is receiving the acknowledgement. In some cases, the publisher or the producer, they also need the acknowledgement whether whatever the data they have sent, it has reached correctly to the destination or the consumer. Then they will ask for the acknowledgement to the exchange. Then the queue will send the acknowledgement to the producer or the publisher also, saying that the data has reached safely and correctly. This is the formats here. And also one more important job of the broker here is, first is the making the authentication, correct, making the authentication for the both producers and the consumer, such that they are the authorized the devices here, such that they can be connected. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವೆರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತದ. ಇಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿಫೈಡ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ, then only they will get connected here. Therefore, for the security or the safety purpose, this broker will make the authentication for the both the publishers and the consumers. And also the it will make the sure that authorization means who will be using the queue and the exchange here, who can have the access to the exchange in the queue, that authorized authority also it will broker will assign. Okay, you can use the queue, you can use the exchange, like that authority to use those resources here. Therefore, those two jobs are done by the broker here. First one is the authentication, verifying the real the subscriber or the consumers and the publishers here, authentication, and also the authorization, who should use authorizedly the exchange and the queue here. Okay, those two also done by the broker here. Now see here, whatever I explained here, message flow. Okay, negative acknowledgement, if they will receive the negative acknowledgement means again one more attempt they will do. Okay, publisher confirm, publisher also receives the acknowledgement too for the confirmation. Okay, flow control here. Now flow control means what? Suppose the producer or the publisher, they are sending the data continuously. Okay, and the queue is holding those data. Okay, now queue is holding those data and the consumer is receiving, it is sending to the particular consumer. Now suppose the capacity of the consumer is low to process that data, then what will happen? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಡಾಟಾ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್. ಈಗ ಇದು ಕ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಹಂಗ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ, ಓವರ್ಲೋಡೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಕಂಜೆಷನ್. ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್? ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಎ ಐತಿ, ಒಂದು ಬಿ ಐತಿ. ಎ ಲಿಂದ ನೀವು ಡಾಟಾ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಬಿಗೆ. ಬಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 5 ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಡಾಟಾನ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಮತ್ 5 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಾಟಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಡಾಟಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ ಎ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದ್ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಒಂದ್ 4 ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಕಳ್ಸಾಕತ್ರ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, those will be overloaded at the B. Therefore, how much is the capacity? No, according to that, within that range only it should transmit. To control that flow control here, two methods are there. Credit based flow control. How much it should transmit? That is here, consumers can specify the number of messages they are willing to process at a time. And the consumers irtarla avaru adanna mention ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ನಾನು ಈ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೀ 5 ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, 5 ಕಳಿಸು. Send only 5 messages. Such that the queue will transmit only 5 messages and it can process those messages here. Therefore, that option is there, that is called as the credit based flow control, such that the network should not be overflowed there, overwhelming or the traffic congestion ಆಗಬಾರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ. ಫುಲ್ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಭಾಳ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there may be chances of the collision of the packets there, data packets collision ಆಗಿ, and those will be corrupted there. Again they have to resend all those packets. Therefore, to avoid this one, we are having the flow control, that is the credit based flow control. Means the consumers are having the authority to mention how much packet they are willing to process. According to that, the queue will transmit. This is the one. And second thing is what? Back pressure. Here in the back pressure means what? The producers are sending number of packets continuously. Now there is a chances of that queue again itla allenu data ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು in the queue section. Then the queue will mentions to the producers send the this amount data only. It is overloaded here. That is the, if the broker's queue becomes too full, okay, then it can signal producer to slow down or stop sending the messages until there is a more capacity. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗೋ ಮಟ್ಟ they will ask a slow down process and ಕಳಿಸೋದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ process ಅನ್ನು slow down or just stop for the instant. Correct? Stop for the instant here. Therefore ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರೇಂಜ್ ಬಂತು again it will start sending the data here. Therefore these two methods are the for the flow control here. These two methods are for the flow control. Okay. Next is the security. That is the which type of the security it is providing here? That is first one is the authentication. As I said, brokers. It is providing the authentication for the both the producers and the consumers. Both are authenticated using some passwords and all such that they are the authorized this one users there. Then only they can connect there. Okay. Second one is the authorization, means to whom the authorization should be given to use that exchange and the broker queue. Okay, that authorization also is allocated by the broker here. Therefore those for the security purpose here. ಈಗ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತ there is no security. Therefore that is controlled here. And also encryption here, it is supporting that TLS and SSL for encrypted communication. Data is before sending the data it is encrypted and at the receiving end it is decrypted here. Therefore these are the security aspects here. Now some key features here again already we have discussed here. Again those are listed here. Right? Again those are listed here. Guaranteed delivery, because it is providing the guaranteed delivery. Why? The guarantee ಆಗಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗೇ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ negative acknowledgement is there, because even though by chance the data is lost, the subscriber or the consumer they will send the negative acknowledgement indicating that the data is not reached safely. Again they will send it. Therefore ultimately they will reach guaranteely. Therefore this one main feature is what? Guaranteed delivery here. Okay. Second one is the acknowledgement method is there, because the consumer also send the acknowledgement saying that the data is reached safely to the queue, and also queue also sends the acknowledgement to the producers saying that at the end point the data is reached correctly. And also negative acknowledgement is also there to indicate if the data is not reached correctly. Therefore the acknowledge, this is also one of the features here. Next one, routing, because allows the message to be routed to a specific recipient based on the pre-refined rules. Correct? Because routing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರೂಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಡಾಟಾ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. That routing is done using those rules, binding rules. And therefore that routing is also there. Next, security. It is providing the high security using that authentication, authorization and the encryption methods. That authentication, authorization and the encryption method. And interoperability means what? Here the communication between the devices is very easy here. Okay, that is the transmission of the message from the computer to computer or the device to device or from software to software, that is easy here. Therefore by observing all these, here it is the AMQP, it is working very efficiently in the guaranteed data delivery and in the acknowledgement method here. That's clear? Next, last questions here. Read the questions. Okay, now see here. Yes, ಓದಿದ್ರಿ? The industry wants to set up a wireless LAN here, wireless local area network. Okay, for connecting devices and computers to transfer a large amount of data. They need to transfer the large amount of data. Therefore, they are set up in the WLAN, wireless LAN technology. Which protocol is suitable, and explain the protocol model. In the wireless LAN also different categories are there. For this large amount of data transfer, which protocol is suitable, and explain its protocol model here. We have to explain that model here. Okay. Now here, setting up the wireless local to connect the devices and computer to transfer the large amount of data. The most suitable protocol is the IEEE 802.11 AC. Okay, this is the one of the protocol here, category here. Commonly known as the general hesaranity Wi-Fi 5. Commonly known as Wi-Fi 5. And recently the advanced this one model of this particular is the IEEE 802.11 AX. It is having still advanced feature compared to that 5 Wi-Fi 5. It is the IEEE 802.11 AX here, and it is commonly it is known as the Wi-Fi 6. Commonly it is known as the Wi-Fi 6 here. These protocols are designed to handle high data throughput, making them ideal for environments that require the transfer of large amount of data. They can go for these two protocols, Wi-Fi 5 and the Wi-Fi 6 here. These are the suggested protocols now. Now we have to explain the protocol models here. Which are the different layers are there and which are the different parts in that. Okay. First one is the Wi-Fi 5 protocol model. Wi-Fi 5 protocol model. In that physical layer, it comes the frequency bands here. Physical layer alli frequency band. Yav frequency band anna Wi-Fi 5 technology use marta ide. Here, it operates in the 5 gigahertz band. Reducing the interference and congestion compared to the 2.4 gigahertz band used by the older standards. Hale standard alli Wi-Fi wireless LAN alli they used to use this 2.4 gigahertz. But what was the problem with the 2.4 gigahertz? Higher congestion and the interference. Bala crowd agide alli. Ellaru other band transmit ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Therefore, higher congestion and the interference from one signal to other signal. To overcome with this, they are adopting this 5 gigahertz. Correct? The frequency band is 5 gigahertz here. Next is the channel bandwidth. Channel bandwidth, how much it will support here? It will support 20, 40, 80 and 160 megahertz. Up to this much it will support 20, 40 and 160 megahertz, allowing for the greater data rates by using the wider channels here. How the wider channel is data, because our main here is high data rate we need here. Okay, greater data rate, and the modulation which it is using here, it is adopting the 256 QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation. Correct? Quadrature amplitude modulation means what? Here two sine wave signals are used as a carrier. In the QAM, two sine wave signals are used as a carrier. Those two sine wave signals are 90 degree in the phase difference. Those two sine wave signals are 90 degree in the phase difference. Those two are simultaneously modulated here. Therefore, at the output section we will get both amplitude as well as the phase modulation. In the quadrature amplitude modulation, we will get both variation in the amplitude as well as in the phase. Okay, therefore, that type of the modulation it is using here. Next is the data rates. Here, theoretical maximum data rates up to 3.5 gigabits per second. Okay. Next is the medium access control. Medium access control means what? To which medium or through which frequency they are transmitting. Because it is not the only ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಒಬ್ರು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಚಾನೆಲ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್, number of signals will be there. Then how to control who should transmit when? Because all will start transmitting at the same time, there may be the collision of the data. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮ ಡಾಟಾ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರಂದ್ರೆ there will be collision of the data and that is of no use, corrupted data. Again we have to resend here. Then how to control that medium ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ. ಹೌದಾ, ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಅದ, ಆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಐತ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸಚ್ ದಟ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಕೊಲಿಜನ್ ದ ಡಾಟಾ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟೆಡ್. ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. Here it is using the multiple input, multiple output. It will supports the multiple input and the multiple output here. Means through the channel here, instead of only one input, it can connect number of inputs here. And output also number of those signals can be received there. Multiple input and the multiple output, that is MIMO. And one is the multi-user MIMO. Multi-user MIMO means what? It is sending 4 data and receiving the 4 data at the output. And also number of users also multi. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ಹೌದಾ, ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ 4 ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಕಳ್ಸಾಕತ್ತೀರಿ, ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ? 4 ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ, ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ. ಹೌದಾ, ಅವ್ 4 ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, XYZ 3 ಮಂದಿ ಯೂಸರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್. Getting this one, multiple this one signals as well as the multi users. Therefore, it is supporting that also here. First one is the multi input, multi output. Second is the multi users for that multi input, multi output, and also CSMA bar CA. CSMA bar CA ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? Carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಒಂದ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ಚಾನಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಚಾನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಯಾರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕ, ಪೆನ್ ತಗೊಂಬರ್ರಿ, ಯಾರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಡಾಟಾ, ಆ ಡಾಟಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ? ಹೌದಾ, ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅದ, ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೀಸ್ ದ ಡಾಟಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್, sensing that particular carrier, whether that carrier is free or not, and if it is free means allowing the users to put their data. Okay, if any user is using means blocking other users, don't send because of someone is sending the data. That is called as a carrier sense for the multiple users here. Carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. Why they are using this method? To avoid the collision of the data. To avoid the collision of the data here. Therefore, this particular technique also they are using here. See here, suppose here the channel is there. Correct? This is the channel here. Now suppose here is the user A, user B and user C. Correct? Suppose user A wants to transmit the data here. Correct? User A wants to transmit the data. First it will check whether the channel is free or not. It will check whether the channel is free or not. If it is free means it will put its data here and it will start moving. Now at the same instant, for example, B also wants to transmit the data. Immediately it won't put its data. First what it will do? It will senses the channel, whether it is free or not. If it is free, then only it will put it. Now at this instant it is not free here. Data will be there. Therefore, it has to in the waiting mode here. Wait until the channel is free. Once the data is transmitted, again it is free, then B can send its data there. Therefore, this method is called as what here? Once it is free again means now the B can send the data here. Okay. If for example, suppose A has transmitted the data. Okay, it is moving. Now we are not having this particular feature. Carrier sense multiple access we are not having means suppose B also wants to transmit data, it will also put its data. C also wants to transmit the data, it will also put its data. Then what will happen? Ultimately, there will be the collision of the data. Correct? There will be the collision of the data and that will be corrupted there. That is of no use. Again, they have to resend the data here. Therefore, to avoid that one, they are using this CSMA bar CA, carrier sense multiple access for the collision avoidance. Okay. Next is the beam forming. That is improve the signal strength. Yeah, which signal they are radiating? No, if they to increase that signal strength such that the coverage area will be increased. To increase the coverage area, the beam forming will be there. Next is the network. This is the first one is the physical layer. Physical layer ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಚಾನಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಿಡ್ತ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಐತಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಡಾಟಾ ರೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೈತಿ, ಅದು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೌದಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. ಆ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Yes, clear? In that it has to cover all those points. Next is the network layer. In the network layer, it is using the IP addressing and the subnetting here, such that both protocols operate over the both protocols means Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6 both operates on the IP layer, supporting standards of the IP addressing and subnetting practices for network management. Andre idena Wi-Fi 5 ಮತ್ತು Wi-Fi 6 itala, both will be operating on the IP layer. Therefore, whatever the standards and the specifications are there for the IP layer, they will hold good for these also. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ compatible ಇರ್ತೈತೆ in the network layer. Okay, next one is the transport layer. Here it is using that is the TCP UDP, that is the transmission control protocol and the user datagram protocol. TCP means transmission control protocol, UDP means user datagram protocol. Again, those two protocols for the transmission the data here. One is the speed wise it is more, but it is safety wise less, this one, that is the UDP. But the transmission control protocol is even though speed wise it is less, but it is the correct transmission of the data. Therefore, depending on the application, they can choose that TCP or the UDP here. Okay, those are the two here. Now, these are the some of the protocol modeling here. Here, 8 Wi-Fi 5 is protocol, that is the physical layer, medium access control, network layer. In the network layer, it is the IP addressing and the subnetting here, and the transport layer, it is the TCP and the UDP here. Okay, in the same fashion for the Wi-Fi 6, again same points here. In the physical layer, frequency bands, how much it is using? Both 2.4 as well as the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6. And the channel bandwidth, how much it is? 160 megahertz. Okay, next is the modulation. Again, it is also using 1024 QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation. And the data rates, it is up to 9.6 Gbps. There it was how much? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು Wi-Fi 5 ದಲ್ಲಿ 3.5. ಹೌದಾ? Wi-Fi 6 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 9.6. ಹೌದಾ? These are the physical layer. Again, the medium access control, it is also using the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Orthogonal frequency division multiplexing means what? Whatever the frequency band is there, that is band is again subdivided in the small parts. ಒಂದು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಐತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಐತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಅದ್ರಾಗ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್, ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ allocated there. Therefore, to access that particular medium here, such that without the interference they can transmit their data here. Therefore, that is the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So, ಹೆಂಗ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತೀವಿ, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ without the interference here. Okay, second one is again it is a MIMO. It will support 8x8, that is a multi-user, multiple input, multiple output for both uplink and the downlink, enhancing the throughput and capacity. ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೌನ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು MIMO ಅನ್ನ. Okay, next here in case of the Wi-Fi 5, it will support the only downlink. See here, this is the difference. ಇದು MIMO ಐತಲ್ಲ, Wi-Fi 5 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಡೌನ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತದ. ಅದ Wi-Fi 6 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೌನ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಎರಡು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಎಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಐತಿದೆ, ಡಬಲ್ ಆಯ್ತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಆಂಟಿನಾ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂದ್ರ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ Wi-Fi 5 ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 8 ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಒಂದು ಡೌನ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಗೆ. Yes, clear? Now again it is having the target wake time. Target wake time ಅಂದ್ರೆ allows the device to wake up and send or the receive data. ಈಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಯಾವ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಳಗ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಾಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಮೋಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ಅದು. But that can be going to a sleep mode such that if they are not sending or receiving the data, continuous hanga on ಮಾಡೋಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. Yes, clear? Therefore, when they want to transmit or the receive the data, it can be decided using that target wake time. ಯಾವಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾವ ಅವಾಗಷ್ಟೇ ಆನ್ ಇರೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಮೋಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ಸೇವ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ or the power consumption. Okay, next again the network layer same as here it is providing the IP addressing and the subnetting. Here both protocols operate over the IP layer supporting all those specifications here. Next, this Wi-Fi 6 also providing the seamless roaming. That is roaming also possible. Advanced roaming capability Wi-Fi 6 provided better performance and connectivity for the mobile devices. Correct? Roaming means what? Mobile roaming ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು. ಏನು roaming ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? Mobile ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? Yes, that is first ಈಗ ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ದು ಅಥರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಹೌದಾ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ now our mobile will be in the roaming mode the service provider will be different correct therefore that roaming here it is supporting that type of the roaming also here. Next is the transport layer again it is using the transmission control protocol and the user datagram protocol for the transmission of the datas here. Now adinelle in the form of the table we have listed here. Correct, whatever the features we have discussed for the both the Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6 in the form of the table it is the bandwidth access here which type of the access here is the and also the antennas here for because only uplink is there in this one 4x4 there are uplink and downlink both it is supporting therefore 8x8. Next it is the modulation and the maximum data rate correct and the maximum users or the access points how many they can be connected here. Let's clear this one. Okay, close now.